Share that came through for us, and there was no hassles, there was no problem.
That's what's so wonderful about knowing that you're a part of such an incredible ministry.
Medishare is a biblical approach to healthcare where Christians share each other's medical expenses.
Medishare is a family, a group of people that stick with you through the hardest times of your life.
Medishare isn't insurance. It's a nonprofit ministry over 30 years old, and members have shared over $8 billion of each other's medical bills.
We don't have to spend so much on health insurance. You can focus on supporting other people.
Medishare is affordable.
Medishare is biblical.
Medishare is family.
Join thousands of Christians who can help you save on your health care and support your family when you need it. Call 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE-40. That's 855-SHARE-40.
News Talk 1560 AM, 94.1 FM, KTUI, Sullivan. It's 6 o'clock. Good morning. This is KTUI Radio, beginning a new day of broadcasting. KTUI is owned and operated by Merrimack Area Broadcasting, LLC of Sullivan, Missouri. Broadcast facilities are located at 900 Elmont Road in Sullivan. KTUI is authorized by the Federal Communications Commission to operate on an assigned frequency of 1560 kilohertz on the AM band and K231CP, an FM translator frequency of 94.1 megahertz. The assigned power for KTUI AM is 1,000 watts, and the power for the FM translator is 250 watts. We invite you to tune in daily to AM 1560 or 94.1 FM for the latest news, weather, and information. And now, the U.S. Navy Band with our national anthem.
By the way, have you ever been in a tough spot and didn't know what to do? In an article entitled Born Out of Tragedy, the story is told of a man who invented a device that emits an ear-piercing, high-pitched scream almost guaranteed to send any assailant running. The man invented this device after his own daughter was reportedly abducted and never found, an invention born out of tragedy. In our world, we're all learning to be as careful as we can be and to protect ourselves as best we can. Those who seek the Lord's help find even more peace in a dangerous world. God himself said, "Call upon me in the day of trouble, I will deliver you, and you shall glorify me." This is By the Way.
Hey, good morning to you. 3 minutes past the hour of 6 o'clock here on a Monday morning. I'm Sam Scott. Glad to have you here along with me and our weather forecast brought to you on KTUI by Lacey Mobile Glass. You know they're your only local auto glass company, and you could call Mark for a quote, 573-259-1248. 573-259-1248. Increasing cloudiness for us today. Slight chance of some late afternoon showers. High near 61. Going to be mostly cloudy tonight. 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Low around 51 degrees. Mostly cloudy tomorrow. 30% chance of showers mainly before 7 a.m. Then gradually becoming sunny. High near 74. Partly cloudy tomorrow night. Low around 45.
Mostly cloudy on Wednesday, high near 63. Mostly cloudy Wednesday night, slight chance of rain, then a 60% chance of rain, possibly a thunderstorm after midnight, low around 51. Thursday, there's a 90% chance of rain, possibly a thunderstorm, high near 67. Right now at the studios of KTUI, I'm showing 39 degrees. Sullivan Regional Airport showing 36 degrees here this morning. And let's see if I can find our sunrise calendar. And let's see, sunrise this morning, 6:48 a.m. Sunset, 4:51 p.m. And that gives us a day length today of 10 hours, 4 minutes, about a minute less than we had yesterday. On the 17th day of November in 2016, we had a record high of 83 degrees. 1880 on this day, we had our low high of 17 degrees. 1959, we had a record low of 6 degrees. And in 1896, our high low for today was 63 degrees. All right. It looks like Sergeant Dallas Thompson. Yes, Sergeant Dallas Thompson. He was a corporal, and I think his promotion was effective as of yesterday. So Sergeant Thompson will be in from the Missouri State Highway Patrol to talk to us here this morning. And let's see, let's check and see what we can celebrate or observe today. Let's see, today is Electronic Greeting Card Day. It's Homemade Bread Day, International Happy Ghost Day, G-O-S-E, whatever that is. International Students Day, National Baklava Day. I like baklava. This is National Butter Day. I think baklava might have some butter in it. National Farm Joke Day, National Take a Hike Day, National Unfriend Day, the Little Mermaid Day, World Peace Day, and World Prematurity Day. International Education Week starts, it starts for 5 days starting the Monday after November 11th. And this is also Geography Awareness Week, International Fraud Awareness Week, Transgender Awareness Week, International Restorative Justice Week. And so there's some things that you can celebrate or observe today. All right, we're coming up on 7 minutes past the hour of 6 o'clock. I saw where somebody won the big lottery, the Mega Millions. I think they were from Georgia, if I remember right. Let's take a look here. Yes, the winning numbers from Friday were 1, 8, 11, 12, 57. The Mega Ball was 7, and one winner in Georgia won the jackpot. 3 people in Michigan matched 5 numbers. Next estimated jackpot, $50 million, and that will be tomorrow night. And then, so now the Powerball is the big one. And let's see what happened there. Winning numbers from Saturday night were 6, 7, 12, 47, 53. The Powerball was 21. The Power Play was 4 times. And that next drawing will be tonight, worth $570 million, or you could opt for the $266.9 million in cash. All right, let's see. I think that's all I've got for you right now. Got you up to date. 39 degrees here at the studios, 36 out at the airport. And we've got news for you from Town Hall on KTUI. Stay tuned.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Greg Clugston in Washington. The Federal Aviation Administration says it's lifting all restrictions on commercial flights that were imposed during the government shutdown at 40 major U.S. airports. The agency said airlines can resume normal flight schedules beginning at this hour, 6 a.m. Eastern Time. The unprecedented order had been in place since early November and affected thousands of flights. The FAA said it was necessary to ease the strain on the aviation system and help manage staffing shortages at its air traffic control facilities during the government shutdown. President Trump says House Republicans should vote to release the files in the Jeffrey Epstein case.
This marks a startling reversal after Mr. Trump previously fought the plan as a growing number of Republicans supported it. Writing on social media Sunday night, the president says, quote, "We have nothing to hide," unquote.
That's correspondent Andrew Stewart. As the Russia-Ukraine war drags on, Finnish President Alexander Stubb says no ceasefire is likely to happen in Ukraine anytime soon.
I'm not very optimistic about achieving a ceasefire or the beginning of peace negotiations, at least this year. I mean, perhaps if we get something going by February, March, that would be good.
In the Middle East, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is vowing to oppose any attempt to establish a Palestinian state. He made the comments ahead of today's scheduled vote at the UN Security Council on a U.S.-drafted resolution that would leave the door open to Palestinian independence. Netanyahu has long ruled out a state for Palestinians, asserting that it would reward Hamas. However, following the just-concluded war in Gaza, he faces growing international pressure to show flexibility. More at townhall.com.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. This Black Friday, enjoy exclusive savings on our high-quality rechargeable hearing aids. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and shop Black Friday deals before they're gone at audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Americans are getting overwhelmed with the unpredictability of the Middle East situation, the ongoing government shutdown, and growing social upheaval at home. These all add up to a perfect storm of uncertainty for financial markets. Call Advantage Gold now at 800-741-GOLD to get your free gold and silver rollover information kit. We can help you navigate the complicated options you may be considering for your IRAs and 401ks. Consult your financial advisor before investing. Call 800-741-GOLD.
Federal agents have launched an immigration crackdown in Charlotte, North Carolina. Bernie Bennett has more.
The Trump administration has made the Democratic city of about 950,000 people its latest target for an immigration enforcement surge it says will combat crime, despite fierce objections from local leaders and downtrending crime rates. Gregory Bovino, who led hundreds of U.S. Customs and Border Protection agents in a similar effort in Chicago, took to X to document a few of the more than 80 arrests he said agents have made. Bovino, head of a Border Patrol sector in El Centro, California, and other Trump administration officials have called their actions appropriate for growing threats on enforcement agents. Bernie Bennett reporting.
President Trump is indicating he plans to meet with New York City's Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani and also says that they'll work something out. For months, the president has labeled the Democratic Socialist Mamdani a communist. News and analysis at townhall.com. Switzerland recently hosted the World Cheese Awards.
Scores of judges in yellow aprons circle long rectangular tables arranged in rows before digging in. They either slice triangle wedges out of hard cheeses and press them to their noses, or use spreaders to scoop up soft, gooey cheeses. It was a blind taste test for the 265 odd judges on hand.
Got hints of fruit, lots of meaty notes, some ham stock, maybe even that sense of sort of bacon when you're like slightly hungover in the morning.
The winner, perhaps appropriately enough, was a special Swiss Gruyere. I'm Haya Panjwani.
Ford Motor Company is showing off its new world headquarters building. It's located in Dearborn, Michigan. The new HQ is double the size of its old one, has plenty of room for twice as many employees. Also, it features 7 restaurants, design studios, fabrication shops, and, of course, cars. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Missouri Net News, I'm Marshall Griffin. A Boone County woman is accused of animal abuse after deputies found dead and malnourished dogs at her Columbia dog breeding business. The 26-year-old woman has been charged with 3 felony counts and 15 misdemeanors and is being held without bond. Court records say investigators discovered 16 living dogs, 4 dead dogs without food or water, dog skulls in garbage bags, and some eating other deceased animals. KMIZ-TV in Columbia reports deputies were called to the business after Sanders took a dead dog to a veterinarian and an autopsy determined the dog died from strangulation. Many employees of businesses too small to offer group health insurance plans are facing a financial crunch as Affordable Care Act costs are going up. David Overfelt with the Missouri Retailers Association says the recent government shutdown highlighted the high price tag workers face who don't have the option of employer-provided group health coverage, which will be even higher if ACA tax credits are not renewed by Congress.
I think you're going to find a lot of people having to make a lot of hard economic decisions because you're talking about taking insurance from, I don't know, a guess of $750 per individual to $1,500 per month and plus.
A Missouri-made movie is setting the box office on fire. Matt Pilger reports.
Soul on Fire, filmed extensively in St. Louis, tells the true story of John O'Leary, a St. Louis native who survived burns over his entire body and went on to inspire millions. Stacy Nation, originally from Wellsville in Montgomery County, worked as second unit script supervisor on the film and says some scenes were even shot at the old prison in Jefferson City. The movie debuted with $7.5 million at the box office, with filming locations ranging from Maplewood to St. Louis University and even Busch Stadium. Nation says Missouri's motion media tax credit helped bring the production home and could be key for future projects. Matt Pilger, Missouri Net.
This is Missouri Net.
We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, and we're for the people of Missouri. We're for kayakers, car dealers, grocery baggers, and mail carriers. We're for teachers, preachers, students, and singers. Armed service members? You bet we're for you. We're for people who shake your hand and say hello, not because they know you, but because they don't. We're for brewmasters, stockbrokers, beauty queens, and truck drivers. And don't worry, we're still for farmers too. Whatever you do, if you're a Missourian, we're for you. We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, and we've got Missouri covered.
My husband is a veteran, and he was injured in the line of duty.
It happened while I was deployed to Iraq. An IED detonated 3 feet from my face.
It was bad.
I remember thinking, who's going to take care of my wife and daughter?
We took care of each other, with a lot of help from DAV.
Every year, DAV helps more than 1 million veterans like Jason get the life-changing support and benefits they've earned.
My victory is knowing my disability doesn't define me.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Veterans Day. Missouri Veterans Commission Executive Director Paul Kirchhoff said the monument honors veterans of more recent wars.
What we're trying to do is make sure that we honor our Iraq-Afghanistan veterans just like Missouri has honored all the rest of our veterans from the previous wars.
The new edition is one of 9 honoring Missouri veterans.
We want to make sure our Iraq and Afghanistan veterans don't feel left out in any way.
The Missouri Veterans Memorial has monuments for every war that Missouri veterans have fought in.
I think it's a great opportunity to show our veterans of Iraq and Afghanistan that appreciation for the sacrifices that were made on behalf of our state and nation.
The entire memorial was dedicated in 1991. It's located on the north side of the Capitol.
At FCNB Bank, we believe everyday banking should reward you. With our real-life cashback checking account, earn 10 cents for every debit card purchase with unlimited rewards. Plus, enjoy nationwide ATM refunds, giving you the freedom to access your money anywhere. It's simple, smart, and designed for real life. Apply online at fcnb.com or visit your local financial center. FCNB Bank, start right here. Member FDIC.
New Testament Baptist Church in Sullivan is starting a new addiction recovery ministry called Life Issues. It's a biblical approach to the 12 steps, bringing scriptural principles into personal focus and making them come alive for transformational living. Whether you struggle with addictions, food, depression, anxiety, or relationships, you'll be encouraged to see how others have found a new way of life with hope for the future through this program. Life Issues will meet weekly on Thursdays at 6:30 p.m. at New Testament Baptist Church. You're not alone. To find out more, contact New Testament Baptist Church at 573-468-3334.
The Missouri State Highway Patrol issued an endangered missing person advisory for a St. Louis County woman yesterday afternoon. 42-year-old Ariane Miller was last seen Saturday at 9 a.m. in Kinloch when she made suicidal statements to her boyfriend and left on foot. She has not returned and not answered calls. Miller has red hair, green eyes, a light complexion, and was last seen wearing a black tank top and gray leggings. Anyone who has seen Miller or who has information related to her should immediately dial 911 to contact the nearest law enforcement agency. Sheriff's deputies in Shannon County seeking help in locating a 15-year-old girl. According to the Shannon County Sheriff's Office, Megan Parsons was last seen approximately 12:40 p.m. at the family farm near Thunder Mountain Road in Birch Tree. Megan was last observed near the chicken lot on the property wearing a hot pink hoodie and gray pants with flared bottoms, according to deputies. They're currently searching and using a drone. If you've seen Megan or have any information regarding her whereabouts, please call 911 immediately. Police in North St. Louis County are investigating a deadly shooting early Saturday morning. Officers were called to the 12,100 block of Bell Fountain Road around 2:05 a.m. after a shot spotter alert. When they arrived, they found a man who had been shot at least once. He was pronounced at the scene. Detectives with the St. Louis County Police Department's Bureau of Crimes Against Persons are handling the case. So far, no suspect information has been released. A woman from High Ridge was killed early yesterday morning in a hit and run on Highway 30. The Missouri State Highway Patrol says the crash happened just before 7 a.m. east of Upper Burns Mill Road. A 30-year-old female pedestrian was struck by an unknown westbound vehicle that left the scene. She was pronounced at the scene by North Jefferson County ambulance personnel. Troopers are continuing to search for the vehicle involved. A man from Republic died Saturday afternoon in a crash on Sawyer Road just west of Highway MM. The Highway Patrol said the collision happened around 1:15 p.m. when a Freightliner truck attempted a left turn and pulled into the path of an eastbound Kawasaki motorcycle. The impact ejected the 67-year-old motorcyclist, who was later pronounced deceased at Cox South Hospital. And an 84-year-old man from Ava was killed Saturday in a two-vehicle crash south of Mansfield. The Highway Patrol says both vehicles were heading northbound on Highway 5 shortly after 1 p.m. when a Kawasaki mule attempted a left turn. A Chrysler 300, which was passing another vehicle, struck the mule from behind. The 84-year-old driver of the mule was pronounced at the scene by the Wright County coroner. Two women from Mansfield suffered serious and minor injuries and were transported to local hospitals. There was a fatal motorcycle accident Saturday evening that shut down a stretch of Highway 50 in Gasconade County. Fire crews from Owensville were dispatched to US 50 near Highway K just after 5 p.m., where a motorcycle and its two occupants had gone down a steep embankment. Firefighters say it appeared the motorcycle struck a deer that was crossing the roadway. The Missouri State Highway Patrol said it happened at 5:10 p.m. on eastbound US 50 about a half mile east of Cave Hill Road. Troopers say a 66-year-old man from Washington was driving a 2007 Kawasaki motorcycle eastbound when the deer entered the roadway. The motorcycle went off the road. Both occupants were injured. The driver suffered fatal injuries. He was flown from the scene and later pronounced at Mercy Hospital in Washington. A 51-year-old female passenger, also from Washington, suffered serious injuries. She was taken by ambulance to Mercy Hospital in Washington. Highway 50 was temporarily shut down to allow a helicopter to land. Owensville Fire assisted EMS with patient care, and the Highway Patrol's major crash team responded. Troop F reports this is the fifth fatality for November and their 44th for 2025. A woman from St. Charles was killed Friday afternoon in a collision at Highway 47 and 14th Street in Washington. According to Washington police, the crash occurred approximately 12:36 p.m. Police, Washington Fire Department, and the Washington Area Ambulance District all responded to the scene. Investigators say a 2005 Harley-Davidson motorcycle operated by a 63-year-old woman from St. Charles was traveling northbound on Highway 47, entered the intersection, and struck a 2007 Chevrolet Suburban. The Suburban was being driven by a 70-year-old woman from Marthasville and had been traveling through the intersection from 14th Street. The motorcycle's driver was transported to Mercy Hospital in Washington, where she was later pronounced deceased. Washington police say the investigation into the circumstances of the crash remain ongoing. No additional information being released at this time. Two women were injured in a rear-end crash last evening on US 50 in Franklin County. The Missouri State Highway Patrol says the crash happened around 6:01 p.m. on westbound US 50 at Wildwood Road. A vehicle ahead had stopped to make a turn. A 23-year-old Gerald woman in a 2010 Ford Edge stopped behind it. A 32-year-old Gerald man driving a 2005 Chevrolet Silverado failed to stop, slamming into the back of the Ford. Both the 23-year-old driver and her 21-year-old passenger suffered minor injuries. Union Ambulance District transported both women to Mercy Hospital in Washington. 2 people from Florida were seriously hurt late Saturday morning in a crash on Missouri 21 at Dart Road in Washington County. Troopers say the crash happened at 11:10 a.m. when a 2013 Chevrolet Sonic, driven by a 23-year-old Bonterra woman, struck the back of a 2019 Can-Am Defender side-by-side. The impact sent the Can-Am off the roadway where it overturned. Both occupants were ejected. A 47-year-old Lakeland, Florida man who was driving the Can-Am and was not wearing a seatbelt suffered serious injuries. His 36-year-old female passenger had moderate injuries. Washington County Ambulance District transported both to Mercy Hospital South. The Missouri State Highway Patrol reported several arrests in our listening area over the weekend. At 10:04 last night in Franklin County, troopers arrested 26-year-old Ethan J. Toomer of Washington. He was taken to the Franklin County Adult Detention Facility on patrol charges, including aggravated fleeing, possession of methamphetamine 5 grams, unlawful use of a weapon, and possession of drug paraphernalia. He also had a Warren County failure to appear warrant for possession of a controlled substance. Toomer is being held on a 24-hour hold. At 4:58 p.m. yesterday, also in Franklin County, 60-year-old Lawrence A. Smith of Farmington Hills, Michigan, arrested on a patrol charge of driving while intoxicated. He was held at the Franklin County Adult Detention Facility and then later released. Earlier yesterday at 12:43 a.m. in Crawford County, troopers arrested 54-year-old Matthew L. Hake of St. Louis for DWI alcohol and failure to maintain the right half of the roadway. He was booked and released. On Saturday at 8:55 p.m. in Phelps County, 44-year-old Nicholas W. Fazio of Rolla taken into custody for felony possession of methamphetamine and unlawful possession of drug paraphernalia. He was booked and released. And on Saturday at 1:59 p.m. in Franklin County, officers arrested 83-year-old Bobby L. Williams of St. Louis on a Franklin County Sheriff's Office charge of operating a motor vehicle without maintaining financial responsibility. He was taken to the Franklin County Adult Detention Facility and is bondable. The Sullivan City Council will be meeting in regular session tomorrow night at 7 p.m. They will go over the monthly bills in the total of $1,826,992.73. Under ordinances, Bill number 4093, sponsored by Alderman Keisha Philpott, would approve a proposal from Cochran Engineering Incorporated for professional services on a Parks ADA transition plan in the city of Sullivan and authorizing the mayor to execute. They do have real estate litigation, personnel, and contractual negotiations scheduled for closed session. That is a look at your local news on a Monday. I'm Sam Scott.
Hey guys, it's Ben with Level 9 Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Game day for your home comfort. Fall's rolling in, so let's start with a strong kickoff. Get your furnace checked and keep those pipes and water lines running smooth. Whether it's a tune-up, a leaky line, or a new water heater install, we've got your back all season long. Now picture this. It's 4th and inches. Do you trust your HVAC and plumbing to get you through in the clutch? With Level 9, we've got a full team on the field. HVAC on one side, plumbing on the other, always playing to keep your home in winning shape. Here's the extra point. Tax credits are still available right now that could save you serious cash on new high-efficiency systems, but they won't be around forever. That's like going into overtime and still pulling out the wind. Don't fumble this chance or wait for the clock to hit zero. If your comfort is on the line, call Level 9 Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing today and fall into savings. Level 9, your go-to guys for heat on, water hot, and comfort steady all game long.
In recent funeral notices, Elsie Gladine Licklider Riddle, née Pinnell of Cuba, passed away Saturday, November 8th at the age of 98. Visitation will be from 10 o'clock this morning until the time of services at noon at the Hudson Funeral Home in Cuba. Burial will be in the Kinder Cemetery in Cuba. Memorials may be given to the American Cancer Society in the name of Gladine Riddle. Robert Butch Uffman of Owensville passed away Thursday, November 13th at the age of 90. Funeral services will be held Wednesday at 6 p.m. at the Gottenstrader Chapel in Owensville. Visitation will be from 4 until 6 p.m. on Wednesday at the Gottenstrader Chapel. The complete funeral announcements with all the survivors will air with our 8 o'clock expanded edition of KTUI News this morning.
Hello, this is Cheyenne, the Treasury Management Specialist at Sullivan Bank. Our goal in the Treasury Management Department is to give your business a step up in business banking. We are committed to visiting your place of business to set up your products and provide training to your team. If you aren't sure what services could benefit you, we will walk you through our products and go over which ones make the most sense for your needs. We want you to focus on growing your business with the peace of mind that we will be there when you need us. Call us today to experience a step up in business service.
It is 29 minutes past the hour of 6 o'clock. Weather on KTUI, brought to you by the folks at Lacey Mobile Glass. You know they're your only local auto glass company. And if you need a quote, call Mark at 573-259-1248. That's 573-259-1248. Increasing cloudiness for us today. Slight chance of late afternoon showers. High near 61. Going to be mostly cloudy tonight. 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Low around 51, mostly cloudy tomorrow, 30% chance of showers mainly before 7 a.m., then gradually becoming sunny, high near 74. Partly cloudy tomorrow night, low around 45. Mostly cloudy on Wednesday. Sorry, had to sneeze there. High near 63. Mostly cloudy on Wednesday night. Slight chance of rain, then a 60% chance of rain, possibly a thunderstorm after midnight. Low around 51. Thursday, there's a 90% chance of rain, possibly a thunderstorm, high near 67. Right now at the studios of KTUI, we're showing 39 degrees, 36 out at Sullivan Regional Airport. Coming up at 8:30 this morning, Sergeant Dallas Thompson from the Missouri State Highway Patrol will be our guest. Bobby D's got sports coming up for you right after you hear this from Gene Strasser. Stay tuned.
This is like a puzzle. This Medicare stuff's so confusing.
The right piece for your Medicare puzzle? Strasser Senior Services.
Annual enrollment for Medicare runs from October 15th through December 7th. Clark at Strasser Senior Services could answer any questions you might have. Don't miss the deadlines. That's October 15th through December 7th.
Clark Strasser and Strasser Senior Services. Call 57.
Looking at sports on this Monday from the Sullivan Bank Studios of KTUI Radio, this is Bobby D. Kansas City Chiefs star tight end Travis Kelce broke the franchise's record for most total touchdowns in team history with a 21-yard reception in Sunday's 22-19 loss to the Denver Broncos. Kelce's touchdown in the fourth quarter turned out to be the final score of the game for the Chiefs, who lost on a last-second 35-yard field goal by kicker Will Lutz for Denver. The Chiefs now 5-5 on the year, ninth place in the AFC playoff standings, 2 spots out of a playoff berth with 7 games remaining. Ahmad Hardy became just the second player in Mizzou history to rush for 300 yards. The Tigers' defense scored twice as Mizzou closed out its home schedule with a 49-27 win over Mississippi State Saturday night before a sellout crowd at Memorial Stadium. Hardy carried 25 times for 300 yards and scored 3 touchdowns. Hardy raised his season rushing total to 1,346 yards and his touchdown total to 15. Missouri got back in the AP poll at number 23 and moved up to number 21 in the coaches poll after the win. Missouri State quarterback Jacob Clark completed a school record 30 passes and logged his 10th career 300-yard game to help Missouri State to a 38-24 homecoming win over visiting UTEP on Saturday. Clark finished with 330 yards through the air with 4 touchdowns. Shamari Lawrence logged a career-high 25 carries to pace the Missouri State ground attack, collecting 109 yards and a touchdown. Mizzou women's basketball fell short to Kansas 82-77 in the Storage Mart Border Showdown Saturday night at T-Mobile Center in Kansas City. Junior guard Shannon Dow led Missouri with 18 points. Junior guard Grace Slaughter added 16. Senior forward Jordana Reesma collected 14. Texas Arlington used a 15-1 run at the end of the first half and started the second half while holding visiting Missouri State to just 32% shooting in a 67-49 UTA win over the Bears Saturday night. Michael Osei-Bonsu was the only Missouri State player to score in double figures with 22. Keith Pallick III had 11 rebounds. Missouri State Lady Bears held Wichita State without a field goal for the game's final 8 minutes Saturday afternoon on the way to a 66-57 win over the Shockers at T-Mobile in the game right before the Mizzou game. Macy James and Lainey Douglas scored 10 points apiece. Katie Pauley and Misha Watson each had 8 for the Lady Bears. Sophomore Amari McCautry drained 20 points. Senior Deion Brown brought down a career-high 15 rebounds. Robbie Avila finished with 14 points as St. Louis University rolled to a 78-64 victory over Grand Canyon Saturday night at Chaffetz Arena. The Lady Billikens dropped a hard-fought contest 96-88 at Murray State Saturday night. Zaya Nugent had 23 points with 6 rebounds for SLU. Alexia Nelson with 21 and Zakira Brown had a career-high 14. Looking at the scoreboard from the weekend in college sports, football, it was Central Methodist over Missouri Valley, 34-21. John Carroll University down to Denison, 48-21. Colton Morrow from Union had 7 tackles for Denison. Missouri Baptist all over William Woods, 52-17. Liam Hughes from Union had 1 reception for 6 yards for William Woods. Washburn got by Missouri Southern, 29-24. Quincy holds off Southwest Baptist 37-35. Nathaniel Naff from Pacific started on the offensive line for Quincy. For Southwest Baptist, James Perkins from St. James started at tight end. Hayden Wolf from Borgia had 2 tackles on special teams, and it was Tate Marquardt of Borgia also seeing action for Southwest Baptist. Landon Boston from Washington had 6 tackles in Truman State's 45-13 win over McKendree. Gabe Dace from Sullivan, 2 catches for 8 yards. Connor Coffey from Herman, 2 catches for 16 yards. And Alex Goley from Sullivan had 10 tackles, a forced fumble and interception as Westminster defeated Northwestern Minnesota 15-6. Women's basketball, Avila over Bethany, Kansas, 80-71. Ava Hughes from Herman had 5 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists for Avila in women's basketball. Mid-American Nazarene defeating Central Methodist 74-45. Caitlin Patke from Borgia, 11 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, and 5 steals for Central Methodist. Grandview edging out Culver Stockton 69-67. Elizabeth Reed from Washington had 1 point for Culver Stockton. Mineral Area, a 62-53 win over Triton College. Elena Lageman from New Haven pulled down 2 rebounds for Mineral Area. Thomas More defeating Missouri S&T 59-48. Anna Finley from Owensville, 8 points, 2 rebounds, 2 steals for Missouri S&T. Kansas Wesleyan, a 93-75 victory over Ottawa University. Allison Daniels from Owensville, 2 points and 3 rebounds for Ottawa. At the Illinois College Tip-Off Classic, Monmouth edging out Westminster 56-55. Allie Bullock from St. James, a full stat line with 10 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals, and 5 blocks. Men's basketball on Saturday, Southwestern Community College beating Neosho County Community College 80-75. Aiden Profeet from Washington, 15 points, 11 boards for Neosho County. Missouri Baptist got by Clark University, Friends University over Evangel, and Grandview down Culver Stockton. Volleyball from Saturday, Heart of America Conference Tournament Championship. Missouri Baptist beating Park University 3-1. Madison Moore from Washington, a kill and a block from Missouri Baptist. Columbia College beat Stevens College for the AMC Tournament Championship. Greenville beat Westminster 3-2 for the SLIAC Conference Tournament Championship. Elsewhere, Central Missouri 3-0 over Pittsburgh State. Grace Winkleman from Herman, 6 assists, 21 digs for Central Missouri. Quincy blanks Maryville 3-0. Lindsey Batson from Borgia, 7 blocks. Ella Brinkman, 11 kills, 4 blocks, and 18 digs for Maryville. Missouri S&T had 15 assists and 11 digs from Annie Aaron from Borgia as they beat Illinois Springfield 3-0. Women's wrestling at the Luther College Open. Gianna Schreck from Union wrestling for Quincy University at 160 pounds, went 1-2. Men's wrestling at the Grandview Open. It was Cooper Deckard from Washington going 1-2 at 133 pounds in the freshman-sophomore division on Saturday. For Missouri Valley, Ethan Hurt from Sullivan went 0-2 at 174 pounds. At the Findlay Open, 197 pounds, Casey Ozaka from Washington wrestling for McKendree finished 4th overall. Luther College Open, Adam Perigo from Sullivan wrestling at 165 pounds for Westminster went 0-2. And it was Wisconsin beating Ohio University at a dual meet Saturday 27-10. Ryan Meek from St. Clair lost by decision at 125 pounds. On Sunday, Missouri S&T men opened up their season with a 68-56 win over Kentucky Wesleyan. Adam Rickman from Borgia, 4 points and 5 rebounds for S&T. Women's wrestling at the Lindenwood Duels on Sunday. Lindenwood beating Illinois Wesleyan 41-11. Allison Meyer from Washington lost her match at 124 pounds by major decision. Wayland Baptist beat Simpson College in a dual meet 25-12. Annalise Obermark from Washington lost by major decision at 145 pounds. Simpson then lost to Lindsey Wilson College 43-15. Obermark won her match by fall. The college schedule for today in women's basketball: Columbia College at William Penn at 5:30. Chicago State at Western Illinois at 5 o'clock. The Missouri Tiger men's basketball team putting their unbeaten record on the line tonight as they host Prairie View A&M. On the local scene, a big night of football on Friday night. The Sullivan Eagles traveling to Vianney for the district championship game. They won it in double overtime, 29-28, to advance to the Class 4 state playoffs. They will host Festus, as Festus beat North County 42-24 to win Class 4 District 1. That game will be Saturday afternoon at 1 o'clock at Sullivan High School. You will need to purchase tickets digitally. Go to misha.org, click on the ticket icon on the home page, go to Show Me Bowl for Football Class 4, and then click on the Sullivan Festus game. Tickets will be $10 each plus fees, and tickets are required for everyone 6 years of age and older. The St. Clair Bulldogs will also be playing on Saturday afternoon after they defeated St. Francis Borgia 26-19 in the Class 3 District 3 championship game at Borgia on Friday. They will take on School of the Osage. Osage beat Moberly 28-7 in the Class 3 District 4 championship game. That is also a 1 o'clock kickoff at St. Clair on Saturday. And again, tickets must be purchased digitally. Follow the same procedure. Just go to Class 3 in football and click on the St. Clair Osage game to get your tickets. St. James High School senior Johnny Perkins has committed to run cross country and track at Evangel University next year. Congratulations and good luck to Johnny. High school basketball gets underway this week. Also, girls wrestling starts this week. Several jamborees coming up around the area involving local teams. The Herman girls will be at Richland tonight for a jamboree at 5 o'clock. At Jefferson High School, Pacific will be on hand along with Cuba and Festus. It'll start at 5 o'clock. Pacific will play Cuba at 6, Jefferson at 6:30, and Festus at 7. Cuba will play Jefferson at 5 o'clock, and then Festus at 5:30. Festus will then play Jefferson final round at 7:30. Coming up on Tuesday, Bell girls will be at the Jamboree at Dixon at 5 o'clock. Union and St. Clair will be at a Jamboree at Hillsboro, along with Afton. Union will play Hillsboro, St. Clair against Afton at 5 o'clock. Union and Afton, Hillsboro, and St. Clair at 5:30. Union and St. Clair face each other at 6 o'clock. Owensville girls will be at Park Hill Central for a jamboree starting at 5 on Tuesday. Sullivan and Borgia girls at Washington for a jamboree at 5 o'clock on Wednesday. We'll have more details on that coming up. And the Bourbon girls are in a jamboree at Kingston 5 o'clock on Wednesday as well. Boys Jamborees tonight. Union hosting Borgia Pacific in Owensville. They'll use 2 gyms at Union High School. Beginning at 5:30, Borgia plays Union in the main gym, Owensville and Pacific in the auxiliary gym. At 6 o'clock, it's Union and Pacific in the main gym, Borgia and Owensville in the auxiliary gym. At 6:30, Union plays Owensville in the main gym, and Borgia plays Pacific in the auxiliary gym. Also tonight, Cuba hosting a jamboree with Lynn, Calvary Lutheran, and Newburgh. It gets underway at 5 o'clock. Cuba will take on Calvary Lutheran. Cuba then will play Lynn at 7 o'clock and Newburgh at 7:30. Herman hosting a jamboree on Tuesday with New Haven, Bell, and Bourbon. They'll be played one at a time at the high school gym. It'll be Herman and Bourbon at 5, New Haven and Bell at 5:30, Herman and New Haven at 6, Bourbon and Bell at 6:30, Bourbon and New Haven at 7, and Herman and Bell at 7:30. Also on Tuesday, Sullivan and St. James are a jamboree at Dixon starting at 5 o'clock. Steelville will be at Kingston at 5 o'clock for their jamboree on Tuesday. The first official games will be on Friday. The Washington girls are at Herman for JV and varsity at 5 o'clock. St. James girls taking on Capital City with the JV playing at 4 o'clock. The varsity's playing at 5:30. That'll be at the Bluefish Shootout in Rolla. On the boys' side, Bourbon will be at Bismarck, varsity only at 5 o'clock on Friday. Chamois at Herman, varsity only at 7:15 after the Herman and Washington girls' games. The Pacific boys will open up at the Bluefish Shootout in Rolla on Friday night. They will take on Rolla. The JV will play at 7. The varsity will play at 8:30. Our sports on the air today, we have Missouri basketball as they take on Prairie View A&M. Pregame comes your way at 6:30, tip-off at 7 o'clock on 102.1 KTUI FM. That is your look at sports on this Monday from the Sullivan Bank Studios of KTUI Radio. Have a great day, everybody. This is Bobby D.
It's your land, your tractor, and your time to save at Seidenstricker Nobi. Right now, take home the hard-working 1023E compact tractor with a loader for under $215 a month, backed by 0% financing for 84 months. And it doesn't stop there. Every John Deere compact tractor package comes with low monthly payments and the same 0% financing. Act now. Deals like this don't last. SNPartners.com, your partner for the land.
Offer valid through 10/31/2025. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
A quiet Friday for direct cash cattle business and cash hogs into the day lower. Good morning, I'm Megan Grebner with your Brownfield Livestock Market Report. There was a light round of direct cash cattle business that took place on Friday. For the week, though, dress deals in the north range from $350 to $355, mostly $351, $8 below the previous week's weighted average basis in Nebraska. Live deals in the south were at mostly $228, $3 below the prior week's weighted averages. At the Ogallala Livestock Auction in Nebraska on Thursday, steers weighing less than 550 pounds were $5 to $20 higher, and steers weighing more than 550 pounds are $4 to $15 lower. Heifers, 400 and 500 pounds, were $11 to $15 lower, and the rest of the weights were $5 to $12 higher. The USDA says demand was moderate to good. Buyers in-house and online were picky. Medium and large one feeder steers, 501 to 545 pounds, brought $491 to $545. Medium and large one feeder heifers, 516 to 544 pounds, brought $397.50 to $419. Box beef closed sharply lower and lower with light demand for moderate offerings. Choice down $2.84 at $370.73. Select was 79 cents lower at $354.24. Estimated cattle slaughter was 93,000 head, down 3,000 on the weekend, down more than 28,000 on the year. Cash hogs into the day lower with a light negotiated run. There hasn't been a lot of positive news to help provide some price support. There's a lot of uncertainty that continues to linger around demand, and the market is looking for any sort of information that could help provide a boost to prices. Processors didn't move big numbers during the week, and prices were lower. The industry continues to monitor the availability of market-ready hogs and hog weights, which have been creeping back up. Barrows and gilts at the National Daily Direct were down 202 with a weighted average of 75.84. Prices at the regional direct markets were not reported due to confidentiality. Pork values closed higher, up $1.96 at $97.22. Butts were sharply higher, and estimated hog slaughter was 488,000 head. At the CME, live and feeder cattle were supported by an oversold bounce. Hogs were up on oversold signals, with pork higher during the session. I'm Megan Grebner, Brownfield Ag News.
What makes a good sow? Hi, I'm Jody Henke. It depends on your goals, but a productive animal has a good conception and farrowing rate and mothering ability as you're living the country life.
Living the country life. Ideas and inspiration for your place in the country. You can find more information on today's topic and from previous shows by visiting us online at livingthecountrylife.com. We'll return to the show after these messages.
Successful Farming presents the 15 Minutes with a Farmer podcast. In each episode, a successful farming editor has a quick conversation with a farmer, chock full of stories and advice from their area of agriculture. They're interesting, educational, and perfect for your busy schedule. Search for 15 Minutes with a Farmer wherever you download your podcasts.
If you're looking for new ideas for what to do around your place in the country, register for the Living the Country Life newsletter. Once a week, you'll receive helpful tips in your inbox on a wide variety of seasonal and timely topics, along with so much more. Living the Country Life is for all those people who love to live in the country. Sign up for your free newsletter today by visiting livingthecountrylife.com.
Whether you have just a few pigs or a large sow operation, choosing the right sow is an important consideration for your goals. There's been a lot of crossbreeding to improve traits, so honing in on one particular breed may not be a critical focus. Elizabeth Hines is an extension swine specialist at Penn State University. She says a good sow is one that's productive.
You can define productivity in a number of ways, but very commonly people define productivity in a sow operation as their conception and farrowing rate, the litter size at farrowing when those piglets are born, and at weaning can have a pretty heavy influence on how productive that sow is. You'll want to consider the number of litters per sow per year.
Litter size is a highly selectable factor. You want a sow that can produce at least 2 litters per year and able to produce enough milk to feed all of her piglets. Also, consider her mothering abilities during the lactation phase. Does she pay attention to where her piglets are?
If you lose piglets because she has laid on them or because she has stepped on them and broken legs, that is not a good mothering ability sow. You want a sow that's going to look for her piglets before she lays down. She's going to lay down slowly to give them time to get out from underneath her or away from her. Even if you are in loose housing or pasture housing, you want a sow that's going to look for her pigs before it lays down.
Also, look at her structural soundness. She should have sturdy feet and legs and good muscle definition. There are many characteristics to consider. Ask the seller for records to make sure she's capable of producing what you're looking for. Learn more about choosing a sow at livingthecountrylife.com. I'll see you in the country.
Living the Country Life. Ideas and inspiration for your place in the country. You can find more information on today's topic, share your tips, and post photos by visiting us online at livingthecountrylife.com.
Cross our wide Missouri with Bob Pretty. Listen to show archives, hear about this day in Missouri history, and learn more about the Show Me State by visiting MissouriNet.com today.
Only a quarter century passed before Missourians began to get restless about their state constitution, and when a constitutional convention was finally called, the sides were drawn, the frontier against the older, more thickly settled parts of the state. The same rivalry exists today as urban versus rural. I'll tell you the story of this constitutional convention in a minute.
Black vultures can be harmful to livestock operations across Missouri. Travis Garant from USDA explains.
The range of black vultures have generally been in the southern part of the United States, but as their range has expanded into Missouri, the number of conflicts has been increasing over time.
He explains mitigation tactics available through USDA.
One of the main tools that we use is a black vulture effigy, and we have those on hand. If you have a pasture where you're calving, we can hang a couple of these up around the edges of the pastures, and that'll scare those birds off. We bring pyrotechnics and other tools to harass vultures off the site. Lasers can work very well. We also carry all the permits to do lethal removals if necessary.
If black vultures are harming your livestock, we can help. Find out more about mitigation tactics and depredation permits at blackvultures.agriculture.mo.gov. That's blackvultures.agriculture.mo.gov.
Original Constitution called for 1 representative for each county, but no more than 100 representatives in the House. In 1820, there had been only 15 counties, but by 1836, the state had 60 with 98 representatives in the House. 5 years later, there were 77 counties, and the 100 representative limit had been reached, and by 1845, the state had 95 counties. The 1820 Constitution also contained a troublesome provision on amendments. No amendment could be accepted until 2/3 of the members of both houses had approved it 2 different sessions. Amendments were badly needed but almost impossible to get. Since nothing could be accomplished that way, the demand grew for a new constitution. In 1835, the people defeated a proposal calling for a new constitution. In the 1842-43 legislative session, though, a bill was passed authorizing elections in 1844 to decide on a convention, and this time voters said yes by 200,000 votes. In August of 1845, the 66 delegates from 28 senatorial districts were elected. Priscilla Crawford, in a University of Missouri dissertation, said the older, more populous counties generally sent their delegations to the convention and instructed to secure reform and representation and make changes in judicial tenure. The frontier sections were called wolf scalp counties by some. They concentrated on judicial issues, and they sought guarantees that every county would have at least 1 representative. More than 100 propositions were submitted in the month the convention talked about representation. St. Louis supported equal representation based on population, but the counties favored the system then in force. At that time, Caldwell County had only 1,583 people, but it carried as much weight in the House as Boone County, which had more than 14,000. Each had 1 representative. A plan was finally adopted setting up apportionment ratios. The number of white inhabitants in the state would be divided by 100. Each county, having 3/5 of the resulting ratio, got 1 representative. Each one of the 2/3 of that ratio got 2 representatives and on up. Any county with less than 3/5 the ratio and not next to a similar small county was to get 1 representative. Otherwise, adjoining small counties could combine into districts containing 2/3 of the ratio and get 1 representative. You bet it was confusing. Judicial reform was another major point. The Supreme and Circuit Court judges served for life up to then. The convention decided on 12 and 6-year terms respectively with voter approval for more time on the bench. They were still close to the 1837 Depression, and many remembered the problems the state bank had had and how worthless was currency issued by other banks. And so some resolutions were introduced abolishing all banking in Missouri. But finally, the Constitutional Convention decided that no bank in Missouri would be allowed to issue its own money. There were some other issues. Education. Proposed Constitution provided money from the sale of $500,000 worth of public lands be used for education instead of internal improvements, a move opposed by some of the still growing and underdeveloped counties. It was this state constitution that advanced the idea of establishing free public schools and allowing them to levy poll and property taxes if needed. The Constitution contained restrictions on state debt, lotteries, divorces, duels, and city and county government standards. But in August of 1845, voters rejected it. The convention which drafted that Constitution had begun its work in Jefferson City on this date, the 17th of November in 1845.
That was Across Our Wide Missouri with Bob Pretty. To listen to show archives, hear about this day in Missouri history, and learn more about the Show Me State, visit MissouriNet.com.
Farming has changed much over the years, and many of us still enjoy seeing the ways things were once done. In a moment, I'll take you to a place that shares that story very well, as they continue to do things the old way on this edition of the American Countryside.
Stream your favorite Farm Journal programs, podcasts, and personalities with the new Farm Journal TV app. You'll enjoy on-demand access to the agriculture information you need from the sources you trust. It's all at your fingertips and on your schedule, anytime, anywhere. The Farm Journal TV streaming app gives you all the must-see Farm Journal shows, all the podcasts from our expanding network, along with exclusive and early view content. You can stream on your phone or smart TV, and you can download programs and watch offline. Go to farmjournaltv.com now to get the special half-off introductory offer, which gives you unlimited access to all this content with a free 14-day trial subscription and the special price of $49 for a full year. Use code BIGDEAL to get this special rate. Don't miss a minute. Subscribe today at farmjournaltv.com.
Georgia's Museum of Agriculture in Tifton, Georgia, has many authentic buildings that date to the very beginnings of this town.
We are incredibly lucky to have the original home of Henry Harding Tift, who was the founder of Tifton.
As Rebecca Rutledge shares, the village you will find here are all historic buildings, moved from their original locations to tell an important story.
Our village here is set up more of a timeline, ranging in dates from the 1870s and our oldest building being from 1845.
Plus structures dating into the 1930s. One of the most visited is a grist mill, still in operation today.
It is historically accurate, built in 1879. It is still run off of a water wheel and still fully functional. So we have it set up where guests can come in and they can watch the process of grits and cornmeal being made using these historic artifacts.
The idea is to tell the entire story of agriculture from here in the Wiregrass region of Georgia.
One of our other points of pride here is our heritage breeds that we keep on site. We have Piney Woods cows, Gulf Coast native sheep. So not only are we showing the agricultural processes that would have been here, turpentining, farming, we are also showing the exact kinds of breeds that they would have and helping preserve that history as well.
There are a couple of other items here that are big draws, and I'll share what they are next time as we travel the countryside in Tifton, Georgia. I'm Andrew McCrae.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. The Labor Department will release its numbers on September hiring and unemployment on Thursday, marking the beginning of the end of the data drought caused by the 43-day federal government shutdown. Shareholders of Union Pacific and Norfolk Southern have backed the railroad's proposed $85 billion merger to create the nation's first coast-to-coast rail network. Roughly 99% of both railroads' shareholders voted to support the largest rail merger in history. International Paper will shut down 2 U.S. packaging plants by January as the company cuts costs and consolidates operations amid weak demand. Chrysler parent Stellantis is recalling nearly 113,000 U.S. vehicles over possible engine failure or compartment fires. The recall is for the 2023 to 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokee 4xE and the 2024 to 2025 Jeep Wrangler 4xE plug-in hybrid electric vehicles. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
When we read Psalm 100, where it says, enter my gates with thanksgiving and my courts with praise. Yes. It's like gates and courts. Well, that's a picture of the temple where God's presence was.
Jason Benham on Focus on the Family Minute sharing this tip to improve your marriage.
We start with thanksgiving to God, and it ushers us into his presence where his power is. Now, incorporate that into your relationships. If you think appreciative thoughts and thoughts of gratitude and thankfulness towards your spouse, and you just randomly think those things, what happens is your brain releases a hormone called oxytocin and dopamine. Dopamine's a feel-good chemical. Oxytocin is a bonding chemical. The person that you're thinking thankful thoughts toward, it bonds you to them. And when you express those thoughts, it releases oxytocin and dopamine in their brains and bonds them to you.
More from Jason Benham and his wife Tori at FamilyMinute.org.
41 degrees here at the studios of KTUI. We are AM 1560 KTUI Sullivan, 94.1 FM. You can watch us on YouTube and on Facebook Live. It's 7 o'clock. Here's the news.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Greg Clugston in Washington. The FAA's flight restrictions at 40 major airports that were put in place during the government shutdown are no longer in effect. Here's correspondent George Williams.
The FAA said it recommended rescinding the order after what it called detailed reviews of safety trends and the steady decline of staffing trigger events at air traffic control facilities. Cancellations hit their highest point a week ago last Sunday when airlines cut more than 2,900 flights. Air traffic controllers were among the federal employees who had to continue working without pay during the shutdown. They missed 2 paychecks during the impasse.
President Trump says the U.S. may be having some discussions with Venezuelan President Maduro. It's a potential diplomatic avenue as the U.S. further builds up its military presence near the South American country with the arrival of its most advanced aircraft carrier. The president has changed his mind about files related to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Following pressure from Republicans in Congress, he now supports publicly releasing those files.
The House Oversight Committee is investigating the U.S. federal government's handling of the Epstein case. Mr. Trump said it should have whatever it's legally entitled to. It's a reversal of position as slowly but surely the political tide turns in favor of full disclosure of the files.
The BBC's Tom Simons. There's a new warning sign for the U.S. economy. More people falling behind on paying their utility bills. Past due balances for heating and lights jumped more than 9.5%, according to a new analysis of consumer data. A powerful atmospheric river doused parts of California with heavy rain over the weekend. Authorities say the storm caused at least 6 deaths. Mudslides now a concern. More at townhall.com.
Everyone is watching major movements ripple through the markets these days, sparked by new policy shifts out of Washington, elections around the country, and activity from the Federal Reserve. Americans have faced uncertainty before, and every time we've found our footing again. The real secret to long-term financial peace is simple. Keep your eyes on the horizon and understand the fundamentals that drive real stability. That's exactly why Advantage Gold is inviting you to call 800-741-GOLD right now. We'll send you a free Gold IRA rollover kit, along with a complimentary copy of economist Ken Rogoff's insightful book, Our Dollar, Your Problem. Inside, you'll learn how to defend your retirement savings against inflation, market swings, and reckless fiscal policies, with tangible assets like precious metals that have preserved wealth for centuries. It's no wonder Advantage Gold has been America's #1 gold company for the past decade. Take a smart step toward protecting what you've earned. Call 800-741-GOLD. That's 800-741-4653. Consult your financial advisor before investing. Call 800-741-GOLD.
Correspondent Donna Warder reports on a weekend multiple shooting in Kansas.
It happened just south of Topeka, and authorities say the 22-year-old suspect died of gunshot wounds at the scene. Carbondale, Kansas resident John Roberts, who lives about a mile up the road, says he was outside when it went down.
I was actually putting siding on the barn out there when the first officer went by. And then the second officer didn't have lights on, and both of them were running, I would say, well over 100 miles an hour as they went by. Kind of piqued my interest, but it's not unusual. And then the city of Topeka officers started going by. That's when I started to really get concerned.
Authorities say the suspect's 77-year-old grandfather was also wounded in the gunfire, but he and the 4 officers are expected to recover. I'm Donna Warder.
Federal immigration agents moved into Charlotte, North Carolina over the weekend as part of the Trump administration's immigration enforcement. Dozens of arrests were made. News and analysis at townhall.com. Reconnecting with old friends can be challenging and rewarding.
We all have them, friends we haven't seen in years, former classmates, co-workers, buddies we served with overseas. Experts say many people are hesitant to reach out and fear being seen as a burden after all those years without contact. But psychologists say recipients are often very happy to hear from an old friend that they've lost contact with. Sometimes the effort results in a rekindled bond with a long-lost friend. Even if that overture fails or a renewed connection fizzles, most people who made the effort say it was worth it. Jason Walker reporting.
On Wall Street, stock futures are mixed this morning, although they are little changed to start the week following last week's volatile trading on Wall Street. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Missouri Net News, keeping you informed for 50 years.
Missouri Net News, I'm Marshall Griffin. West Central Missouri Congressman Mark Alford is urging a federal review after reports that shell companies linked to the Chinese Communist Party may own a trailer park next to Whiteman Air Force Base. Alford sent a letter to the Treasury Department asking the Committee on Foreign Investment in the U.S. to investigate the purchase. He says foreign ownership near the base, home to the B-2 stealth bomber fleet, poses a serious national security risk. Alford is requesting a classified briefing and a swift review of the deal. Many employees who work for small businesses and have to buy health insurance on the open market are bracing for higher prices at the end of the year. Health plans offered through the Affordable Care Act are set to rise even if Congress were to extend subsidies first approved during the pandemic. Price hikes will be even sharper without those subsidies, according to David Overfelt with the Missouri Retailers Association.
I don't believe that many lawmakers understand how many small businessmen and women cannot find regular insurance. It's just not available if you can't get in a pool.
Overfelt says even insurance pools are denying coverage for such things as age and pre-existing conditions. A Missouri-made movie is setting the box office on fire. Matt Pilger reports.
Soul on Fire, filmed extensively in St. Louis, tells the true story of John O'Leary, a St. Louis native who survived burns over his entire body and went on to inspire millions. Stacy Nation, originally from Wellsville in Montgomery County, worked as second unit script supervisor on the film and says some scenes were even shot at the old prison in Jefferson City. The movie debuted with $7.5 million at the box office, with filming locations ranging from Maplewood to St. Louis University and even Busch Stadium. Nation says Missouri's motion media tax credit helped bring the production home and could be key for future projects.
This is Missouri Net.
Retirement can be scary, but only if you're not prepared. That's why AARP created thisispretirement.org. Because unless you've already retired, you're in pretirement, and you still have time to plan. Learn about retirement savings options, potential tax breaks, and how you can build savings over time. Visit thisispretirement.org for free resources to help you customize your action plan and feel the retirement fear.
Why should it be any different for us kids and our cell phones? Distracted driving was the cause of more than 3,000 deaths in 2022. Come on, we're smarter than this. Let's put down the phones and focus on the roads. Drive safe, everybody.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
A fire burned about 100 acres Saturday night in southwest Missouri. Nixa firefighters helped the Highlandville Fire Department put out the flames. No injuries were reported. Southern Missouri's West Plains is getting ready to welcome a couple of hundred new employees of an Alabama-based IT firm. Provalis announced this fall that it's expanding in West Plains. Mayor Mike Topliff's advice to other small towns hoping for a similar project?
Well, be open for something new and reach out and work with these people.
And which Missouri judge just earned the nation's highest judicial honor? Again, here's Matt Pilcher.
Missouri Supreme Court Judge Mary Russell has received the Sandra Day O'Connor Award, the top honor from the National Judicial College. Russell, a two-time Chief Justice, was recognized for her leadership and commitment to civics education, including visiting all 46 judicial circuits and writing monthly columns to explain court processes. Judge Russell accepted the award November 13th at a national summit in Minnesota.
This is MissouriNet.
At Sullivan Bank, we are committed to being a step up in service. We support our customers through every chapter of life. This includes your business endeavors, which is why we offer our Sullivan Bank Business app, where you can deposit your business checks, make transfers, and receive real-time alerts. Stop by Sullivan Bank today to experience a step up in service for yourself.
This is like a puzzle. This Medicare stuff's so confusing.
The right piece for your Medicare puzzle? Strasser Senior Services.
Annual enrollment for Medicare runs from October 15th through December 7th. Clark at Strasser Senior Services could answer any questions you might have. Don't miss the deadlines. That's October 15th through December 7th.
Clark Strasser and Strasser Senior Services. Call 573-308-5255. Online at StrasserSeniorServices.com. Your local Medicare resource.
The Missouri State Highway Patrol issued an endangered missing person advisory for a St. Louis County woman yesterday afternoon. 42-year-old Ariane Miller was last seen Saturday at 9 a.m. in Kinloch when she made suicidal statements to her boyfriend and left on foot. She has not returned and not answered calls. Miller has red hair, green eyes, a light complexion, and was last seen wearing a black tank top and gray leggings.